That's it.
That's it. Okay, let's get to the book. Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad. Give us a little preface of this book.
What happens that I used to, before 9/11, I used to work on my books. I'm basically a translator. That's what I did before. I'm working on encyclopedia of Islamic literature called Zad al-Ma'ad. When 9/11 happened, and it wasn't part of my plan actually to debate these issues either live or in books. I was just concentrating on my other books, projects. Then people started saying things about Islam, including Muslims. And that made me, not only outraged, but I thought it is really necessary and needed that people who live in the West, like me, who have access to the English language, to the Arabic resources, to come and set the record straight by explaining what jihad means in Islam, how it is done properly, and how things that are called jihad today can be analyzed in this view, so that anyone who reads this book can understand that Prophet Muhammad said, don't kill women and children. Therefore, if a Muslim comes and does it, then Muhammad is not responsible for it, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Why? Because he said you can't do it. Because he ordered his companions not to do it. He didn't do it himself. And so I wanted the concept of jihad to be understood, because so often I hear people who have no clue what Islam is about, especially in the mass media. Jihad, holy war. Jihad, holy war. You know, this concept, holy war, doesn't exist in our religion. It doesn't.
No.
Jihad does not mean holy war. This is why my book, I started by saying holy wars, because this concept, it appears it came from the Jews. We don't have it in our religion. The Crusades, you know who did the Crusades, and jihad is our way of defense. Jihad is the defense mechanism that Muslims have against their enemies. And it's not only fighting, it's not only against non-Muslims, it can be done even against Muslims who attack you. You have every right to defend yourself. It's called jihad. And by the way, jihad has 13 different aspects. One of them only is to fight in the battlefield. So I wanted to write this book to set the record straight about jihad, to let people know what jihad means, how it is properly conducted. Also, I'm not the type of person who, you might see many Muslims who would like to lower their head to non-Muslims and say, we're nice, we're good, we just kiss each other on the cheeks, we're for peace and this and that. Because we're not for peace completely, unless non-Muslims are for peace with us.
Yes.
So we're not pacifists. Our religion, a part of the meaning of Islam is peace. It's a part of the meaning, but the larger meaning is submission to the will of God, Allah, the Creator. And therefore, when we talk about peace, we're not pacifist, meaning what? If you attack us, we'll attack. You don't attack us, we'll not attack. If you seek peace with Islam and Muslims, you will have peace with Islam and Muslims. If you don't, you won't. So I wanted all these concepts to be explained in such a way that there is a comparison also. I said, I don't lower my neck except to my Lord, the Creator. Yeah. That's what we do in sujood. When we prostrate, we just do it to Allah alone, the Creator. I wanted to make a comparison between what we have in our book, which is very, very clear, has been practiced throughout the history of Islam by the Prophet and his successors, the companions, the generations after that, the scholars of Islam. It's very clear and documented. And compare that to what the people who are attacking Islam today have in their books, but they're hiding behind their backs. They have books that contain terrible, terrible orders to ancient prophets. And as we reject these orders and think God never would have ordered them, we reject what these people are saying about the prophets too, because we believe in all the prophets from Adam all the way to Muhammad, passing through Noah, Abraham, Musa, Moses, Isa, Jesus, and every other prophet.
We believe in all those prophets.
And if you don't believe in any of them, you haven't believed in Muhammad or in any of them.
Give us some examples of what you're talking about as far as the things that are the slander that's talked about.
Like, for example, the killing of women and children. I just explained it because, okay, this is a concept that has to do directly with 9/11, killing civilians. When the Prophet says, according to Bukhari and Muslim, you can't kill women and children, he ordered his companions.
We're talking now Islam now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when you go back to the Old Testament and hear that Moses has been ordered, and the order he gives it actually to Joshua and other people, children of Israel, go to this town. This is the Lord is speaking. Go to this town and kill every man, woman, child, suckling, infant, oxen, sheep, donkey.
That's Bible now.
Yes.
We're talking the Bible, Old
yes.
Testament.
That's what I have in my book. And I have the references, reference after reference after reference. You know, the funny thing is, when I debate some Christians, they start saying Islam, this and that, and this and that, killing, 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 you know, non-Muslims, kill them wherever you find them. And when I tell them about, what about what you have in your book? Because killing of non-combatants is not only bad, just when it pertains to Islam, any other religion, because I challenge you. In your book, there is an edict in the 2nd Samuel that says, go to this town, kill every man, woman, child, suckling, infant, the rest of it, and donkey. I don't know why the Bible has a problem with donkeys, because in many aspects or many parts of in the Bible, donkeys are being ordered to be killed. Donkeys are okay. I mean, the sound is not okay, but they're okay. You know, Jesus, according to the 4 Gospels, he went into Jerusalem
on a donkey.
On a donkey. Yeah. So donkey is okay. It helped Jesus, peace be upon him, because we believe in him far more than people think. Now, when I tell them you have this edict in your book, they come and tell me, well, this is an order for ancient nations, you know, it doesn't pertain to us. I say this is not my question. When God ordered Moses, and Moses ordered the prophets to go into this town and kill every man, woman, child, and suckling, was this order when it came righteous or good, or bad and evil? Is this terrorism? They don't say anything. Because the minute you tell them what the Lord said, they distance themselves from the Lord, saying this is for ancient peoples. Let's suppose it is for ancient peoples, okay? Because we don't believe God ordered this anyway. This is another reason why the Bible has been rewritten by these people. They just put any stuff they liked in these books.
We'll be right back.
There's a bumper sticker that reads, God said it, I believe it. My guest Bart Ehrman's reaction to that is, well, what if God didn't say it? What if the book you take as giving you God's words instead contains human words? Ehrman is the author of the new book, Misquoting Jesus. It's about how the New Testament was altered by the scribes who handwrote each copy and in the process made intentional or unintentional changes. Ehrman chairs the Department of Religious Studies at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He's a scholar of the New Testament and the early church. He was born again at the age of 15 and studied at the Moody Bible Institute. Later, while attending Princeton Theological Seminary, he started to have doubts about the literal interpretations of the Bible. He now describes himself as an agnostic. Let's start with how the Bible was hand-copied for almost 1,500 years.
With the Bible, we're talking about a period before there was movable type, and so for books to be reproduced, they had to be copied by hand. And so all of the books of the New Testament and all of the books, in fact, from all of antiquity were reproduced by hand, which is a very slow, painstaking process. To mass produce a book in the ancient world meant that you would give the book to a company that did these things, and they might have 5 scribes there who would copy the book. And so the mass production, or the Kinko's of the ancient world, was the little scribal shop on the corner where you might have 5 guys doing this to make a living. So the books got copied out by hand, and copying a book by hand, of course, meant copying it 1 sentence, 1 word, 1 letter at a time, and that's not only a painstaking and slow process. It's also the process is open for mistakes to be made, either accidental mistakes, as a scribe is just being careless, or possibly he's tired, or possibly he's inept, and sometimes scribes actually change the text intentionally. But sometimes they would actually change the text to make it say what they wanted it to say. And so we have these thousands of manuscripts of the New Testament. We have over 5,000 of these manuscripts, but no 2 of them are exactly alike. There are hundreds of thousands of differences in these manuscripts. And so the task is to figure out, what did the author actually write, given the fact that we don't have the originals? Given the fact that we don't have the originals? Given the fact that we don't have the originals? Right, I started out being interested in the Bible because I was a born-again Christian. Christian, a fundamentalist, who thought that the very words of the Bible had been given by God. And so I studied Greek in college and decided to read the New Testament in Greek. So the more I studied, though, the more I saw there's an enormous problem. We don't have the original Greek copies of any of these books. All we have are these thousands of